Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope everyone had a better Tuesday than the markets did. So we got lots to cover today. There's a lot of news going out. So we'll take a look at the S&P down, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. They were all down for today. Miners, majority of them were down today, except for I think 3 were actually up today. Okay, so we'll look at all that, what's going on there. We also have quite a few stories to talk about. We got BitDigital, they're getting into a joint venture and Ethereum staking. And then we also have DMG providing their February production update along with Hut 8 and Iris Energy. So we got quite a bit of stuff to get through. And also we got to talk about Fed Chairman Powell talking to Congress today and what that impact had on the markets today. Okay, so as always, you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams and spam posts. Get reported and deleted. And I'm investing in foreign coins and companies. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. So here is the market. So S&P was down today 1.153% to 3,986. Dow Jones was down 1.72% to 32,856. NASDAQ was also down 1.22% to 12,152. Bitcoin was down quite, well, it was down, but it wasn't down too bad. It was down only 0.95% to a close of 22,198. If we look at the 1 hour chart on it, we can see here, I drew this trend line here this morning, thinking that there might be something happening here. And I drew this, I don't know, this was around probably 7 o'clock or so, 7:30, I think. I was looking at the peaks here. I'm like, we're forming like a triangle here right now. So I wanted to see if this was actually going to fulfill or not. And well, right after the news came out of Federal Jerome Powell talking to Congress, you can see here this nice long green wick here that actually was looking to be a lot worse than it ended up being. But it was down quite a bit here. So we were down to a low of 21,932, and this was right at 9 o'clock this morning. Right after he spoke, we bounced a little bit here. If we go to the 15-minute chart, we can see that a little bit better. But we went down, we bounced up, we kind of kept bouncing here, and then we've continued to fall throughout the rest of the day. And we'll take a look at what he had to say. It spooked the market, obviously, but it wasn't good. So right now we are falling below that. I'm guessing we're going to probably continue to fall even more, depending on where things go. But I think the natural course is going to be to fall down even further. Okay, so that's on Bitcoin right now. The RSI is looking a little high here at 43. Last time we were back here, price at that point was higher as well. So we are sending that trend line down even lower here. We'll see how this is going to play out. We can take possibly this. Well, I mean, right now this trend line could possibly keep going, but we'll see. Ethereum, on the other hand, was also down today. It was down pretty much like Bitcoin was. It was down actually towards the end, only down 0.27%. So it did rebound a little bit more than Bitcoin did. And if we look at the 1 hour chart here, we can see that it is still trying to get to that 50-day moving average here, kind of like Bitcoin was trying to do as well. You can see here Bitcoin was trying to get back to this 50-day moving average. It wasn't able to do it so far. Ethereum has been able to do it. And the RSI right now on the 1 hour chart is at 54. Last time we were back here, price was higher at that point. So we'll see where things end up at. But my guess is that we're going to be trending down lower for the next couple of days here, possibly through the end of the week, but we'll see. Okay, so that's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's take a look at the miners here really quick as well. We're going to take, okay, so Annie was down 4.57% today to 33 cents. Argo was down 3.59% to $1.61. BitDigital was down 5.69% to $1.16. Bitfarms was down 6.74% to 83 cents. Cypher was down 5.7% to $1.49. CleanSpark was down 3.64% to $2.38. Cores was down 9.76% to 30 cents. DigiHost was down 1.57% to $1.25. DMG was down 6.31% to 20 cents. Greenidge was down 3.82% to 48 cents. Hive was down 6.12% to $2.61. Hut 8 was down 3.82% to $1.51. Iris Energy was up actually 4.17% to $2.75. Marathon was down 3.64 to $6.09. Mawson was up 1.9% to $2.43. Riot was down 3.14% to $6.17. And lastly, but not least, Soluna was down 2.97% to 32, and TeraWolf was up 3.82 to 68 cents. So like I said, 3 of the miners were actually up today. The majority of them were down. So let's take a look at our network hash rate right now, see where that's standing at. We'll refresh this page. And on the 7-day average, it has come down a little bit here to 323 million from the peak that we reached here just a day ago at 329. On the 1-day chart, we can see that we are coming back up to our peaks here at 353 million terahashes right now. So trend is still continuing to go up. Let's take a look at our first story here, which is going to be on Fed Powell. So stocks sink after Powell tells Congress rates could go up higher. I'm not going to get into the whole article here, but the main thing that spooked the market is right here. The latest economic data have come in stronger than expected, which suggests that the ultimate level of interest rates is likely to be higher than previously anticipated, Powell said. If the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we would be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. Based on the information that came in for, what was it, January data with the unemployment data, some other data as well, was stronger than anticipated. So they're worried that inflation is not under control yet. for that, we may see, instead of a 25 basis point hike, we may see a 50 basis point hike coming up here in March. That obviously didn't bode well with the investors. So markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything pretty much sank today. We'll see if once they digest all this news, if potentially tomorrow we'll maybe have a little bit of a recovery, but we'll see. I doubt that's going to happen, but I could be wrong. I wish I was wrong. So we'll leave it at that. That's the reason why the markets crashed today. Let's take a look at the stories that we do have on the miners. So Bit Digital Inc. announces formation of a joint venture with Megametrics Corp to provide digital asset staking technology. I'm kind of on the fence on this one, but let's get into it here, see what the announcement is. So Bit Digital announced the formation of a joint venture with Megametrics Corp, MPU, Megametrics, by entering into a shareholders agreement. The agreement with Mars Protocol Technologies Pte. Ltd., the joint venture company, to jointly develop proof-of-stake technology tools for digital assets through the staking platform Mars Protocol, and institutional-grade non-custodial staking technology. Through Mars Protocol, the joint venture will seek to provide non-custodial staking tools whereby users' private keys are not stored in its database to ensure the safety of its users' digital assets. Pursuant to the agreement, Bit Digital will own 40% of the joint venture company. A couple questions here. I read through the rest of the article. It's not a lot of information there as far as what's going on with the joint venture, but it is going to be based in Singapore, and they are going to be also seeking to ensure compliance with laws. Let's see here. Before offering any service, the joint venture will undertake a regulatory review to ensure that its services are fully compliant with the laws of Singapore and any other nation in which it seeks to conduct businesses right now. So we will see where this is all going to go to. But my take on this is, why get into something staking when we know that staking potentially could be viewed as a security, right? So if we look at it that way, as security, there could be issues down the road, especially with the SEC potentially going after anything that it sees as securities. We know one thing that isn't a securities right now is Bitcoin. So the concern here is, why get into something that might be regulated really, really bad down the road? And I don't have an idea why they're getting into it. Don't know how much they're also putting into it to fund this. They're doing a shareholder agreement on it. Don't know how many shares are going to be transferred over or whatnot. Don't know all the details yet, but we will find that out, I'm sure, in due time. But with just staking right now, people can stake if they want. I think you need 32 Ethereum to stake it. They have a lot of Ethereum. They have over 10,000 Ethereum, I think, so they could definitely stake it. I'm just curious why go into a joint venture with somebody that is also allowing staking. So I don't see this as a positive thing. I see this as a potentially negative thing because of the regulations that might be coming down the road. Okay, let me know what you guys think on this, and we'll get into something else here. The next story is going to be on DMG. DMG provided their February production update as well. And here's what we do have right now. BTC mined was 89.2. They didn't add any miners. Daily average was 3.2 BTC. They didn't add, obviously, any hash rate as well. Hash rate reached 0.915, which is the same as we had the prior month as well. And then here's a little update from them. 300 Bitmain XP shipped, expected to be received during March. And then DMG's Terra Pool and Petra have started placing ordinals NFTs into the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's good there, but no news on how much they hodl or anything like that. So we'll just leave it as is. Let's get into the numbers that I do have for them with the latest numbers, and we'll take a look at it here. So DMG has 176 million shares outstanding right now. Their market cap is 37 million. Stock price is about 21 cents. Current hash rate is at 917 petahash. Future hash rate is going to be about 1 exahash roughly. They are 87.92% operational. Future hash rate growth is about 13%. The hodl number is possibly old here. I'm not sure how much they're hodling. This was back from September Q4 results. I haven't seen anything new from that, so that's still old there. If they still have that amount, it would be about 7.8 million, and it's about 21% of their hodl to market cap position right now, and each share has about 4 cents of it. BTC production, you can see here, peaked in December with 104, and then January was 100.2, and now in February 89.2, so that is down about 10% or so. The network hash rate has gone up about that much, so that is in line with what we would expect. Also, we can see here that their efficiency for BTC per exahash has been coming down here. Their best was in December, 114, followed by January was 109, and then they were down to 97 here in February as well. Now, when we look at their revenue for the month, it looks like about 2 million roughly here on this one, and that's based on the 89.2 Bitcoin mined, with the Bitcoin being using the average Bitcoin price for the month of February. And I'm not sure if they sold any, don't know any of that information, so we're just going to leave it as is, not even go into that information there. Miners, they didn't add anything as far as miners are concerned. They did mine for about 26.4 days in total with the miners that they do currently have, and that got us to the 2,075,000 roughly, with the 917 petahash installed right now. Institution-wise, so Institutions did increase a little bit here to 7, along with shares. That went up to 1.3 million from 998,000, and percentage owned went up to 0.78% from 0.6. We still have one strong buy rating, one buy rating, and the price targets for analysts are 73 cents, 61 cents, and 48 cents for the low. Now, looking at their numbers, let's see if they're undervalued or overvalued. Based on the information that we do have from them, we are looking at last 3 quarters, which are the official numbers that we do have from them. That's about 15.8 million. Combined with the current quarter that we're looking to be about 6.3 million, we have a total of 22.2 million in revenue, 50% net income from gross revenue with a PE of 15. That probably should be lower. I'm guessing that should be probably around 10 because they don't have a lot of growth. They should be around 63 cents to 94 cents. Currently, they are undervalued in my opinion based on this information here, and it all just depends on what they do going forward. Now, with them, they are a pretty small miner as it is. One of the smallest ones that I do cover here. The only way that they're going to get out of this is to mine, to install more miners. They do have a little bit more miners left to get installed, but that's very minimal here. And they just need to continue to grow. With the amount of shares outstanding also, they don't have a real option of diluting the shares and getting value that way because it's, 21 cents right now. So you need to dilute another 100 million shares to get $21 million to purchase more miners, but then you also need the facilities as well. So they're in kind of a little pickle here right now. They know that they have to grow, but they don't have really the cash to do it. And if we look at their numbers here, as far as net assets, really quick here that were reported in Q1 of 2023 here, current assets was only 683,000. So not a lot there. It is enough for them to sustain it. And they have about 10 million in, total is about 18 million. So they do have some assets that they could actually use towards buying some miners, but they need the facilities to put them into as well. Okay, total liabilities isn't that bad either. It's only 6 million, so take out total current liabilities from that, and you get about $12 million worth of that you could possibly invest a little bit of that. All right, so that's it for DMG. They got to grow like everybody else here. They need to grow. We'll leave it at that. Okay, let me know what you guys think of DMG. Let's get into our next story, which is going to be on Hut 8. So Hut 8 mining production and operations update for February 2023. And here's the details. So 156 Bitcoins were generated, resulting in an average production rate of approximately 5.6 Bitcoin per day. January 2023 production of 188 Bitcoin was sold in February. So they did sell 188. And then total, so this is kind of new, right? They did mention this when they were talking about the merger of equals with BTC US, I think. And they did state at that time that they will be selling some of their Bitcoin production going forward to fund operations and also for the merger, I guess. So that has started to happen here. Total balance held in reserves as of February 28th was 9,242. And further to our announcement on February 7th, we expect to sell our February Bitcoin production to fund operating costs. So it looks like they're also selling pretty much everything that they mine in each month, it looks like. Installed ASIC hash rate capacity at our Alberta facility was 2.5 exahash at the end of the month. And then they produced 62.4 BTC per exahash in February on that. Operational highlights. They are currently investigating electrical issues at their Drumheller, Alberta site, which have reduced production levels. Not sure what's going on there, whether it's with their electrical equipment. Well, like they're saying electrical issues. Could be the transformers, could be any number of things. Hopefully they get that figured out. And then miners and electrical equipment have been removed from the North Bay, Ontario site. Miners were moved to Medicine Hat, Alberta, and electrical equipment were moved to a third-party facility pending relocation. This is part of that deal with, can't think of the electrical company name right now, but they're basically suing the electrical company, the provider, the electrical providers suing them. It's back and forth, and they've been not operating for the past, 3-4 months out of that facility because the power has been basically shut off because the electrical provider states that they haven't paid. They're saying other things, and it's just a mess right now. So it looks like that's going to be the end of the rope for that facility. They are going to be trying to find another facility when that happens. So that's not good there because that's represents about 670 petahash or something like that, 700 petahash. So they are, here we go. We are assessing energization options for the approximately 7,000 miners that were relocated from North Bay, which represents approximately 680 petahash of capacity. That would be good if they can get those energized and back online. It would definitely help them with the production of BTC because they've been struggling here lately. And you can tell because they are selling. So it looks like we finally had Marathon sell in January. Now we got Hut 8 selling as well in this month, or January, now February. And it looks like we have capitulation, and the miners, at least that I cover, everybody here is selling. Marathon and Hut 8 were one of the last 2 holdouts that were just, holding as long as they could and not trying not to sell. So we finally have this, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see how long they continue to sell, if they're going to continue to sell every month, or if it's just going to be one of those things where it's going to be for a couple months, and they'll possibly stop doing that, or, well, we'll see. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers that I do have for Hut 8. Let's see here. Hut 8 right there. So Hut 8 has 227 million shares outstanding. Stock price is $1.51 right now. Market cap is at 343 million. Current hash rate is at 2.5 exahash. Future hash rate is going to be about 3.2. And that includes the 670 petahash that's offline right now. They are about 76% operational right now with 31% growth left. And their BTC HODL is 9,242, which is valued at about 210 million. So they got plenty of cash to grow if they wanted to. But for some reason, they are stubbornly not growing other than the merger of equals, which there are a lot of questions over. We'll see how that one plays out. And you can see here that their HODL to market cap is 61% of their HODL is right now based on, well, their market cap, 61% of it is based on their HODL position, which doesn't bode well for their, investors' thoughts of growth, right? They're more invested in the HODL than they are in the growth story on this one. And then each share has about 92 cents of HODL position, which is a lot. And then as far as production is concerned, you can see that they peaked at 375 Bitcoin in August. September was the month where Ethereum went to proof of stake. We had a big drop there. In October, it went up a little bit to 299, but November came back down to 238. December was 161. January was a pretty good month, 188. And then February, we're back down to 156. So we're seeing this continued decline of Bitcoin production where they're not growing. And that's the reason mainly why. Network hash rate is growing, but they're not growing with it or in advance of it. So we're seeing that decline happening here, which is unfortunate. BTC per exahash efficiency has been coming down as well ever since August. The Ethereum miners did provide a lot of efficiency to their operations. Same thing with Hive, but that has been coming down here to 62.28 based on my calculations here. And based on what they mined for the month of February, 156 Bitcoin, that equates to about 3.6 million in revenue. That is down from January of 3.8. It's also a shorter month for February, so that's not too bad. Okay, and then they did sell 188 Bitcoin for approximately $4.3 million in revenue. Looking at their production here, nothing got installed. They were down for quite a bit here. In February, they were only mining for 19.69 days, and that's the only way I could get them to the 3.6 million in revenue was to bring them down in production days. And that could be possibly because of the electrical issues that they're having with the components or something like that. But that's also not good. So they should have been able to mine more than that. Given where they are right now, they should have mined closer probably to 200 some Bitcoin, I think, based on in March. If they mined for a full month of March, currently, it would be about $5.4 million in revenue. So a big difference there, almost $2 million. Now, looking at their institution side of things, institutions did increase here a little bit to 167 from 166 in the prior month. Shares did come down a little bit here to 20.9 million from 21.99. And percentage owned also went down a little bit to 9.46% from 9.97. We still have one strong buy rating, one buy rating, 3 hold ratings, and the price targets did come down a little bit here to 441 for the high, average at 228 and the low at 147. So looks like analysts are expecting less and less revenue from them unless Bitcoin starts going way up higher, and then their HODL position would kind of help offset that as well. With their production currently, with the last 3 quarters, we have them at approximately 61 million, and that's based on 2 quarters that are official. The December ending quarter is right now, I think they're going to be providing the numbers on the 9th. So they'll come out. We'll get this updated then. But right now I have them at about 12.7 million. And then we're using the current quarter of 12.8. I doubt March is going to be that good of 5.4 million. I guess it's going to be a little lower than that, but we'll use this as it is. Okay, so with all that, their total revenue is about 73.8 million. 50% net income from gross revenue. We're looking at with a P of 20, which is kind of high for them, given where they are. I could see them being more towards 15. So we're looking at $2.43 and 75% net income from gross revenue. We're looking at $3.65. They are right now at $1.51. They are way undervalued in my opinion right now as it is. Now, they have some troubles or things that they got to get through, really. Number one is relocating those 7,000 miners or 8,000 miners, whatever they have, to get to the 670 petahash installed and running as fast as possibly they can. The other thing is their merger. There's still a lot of questions on that. I don't know if that's even going to pass through. There's some mixed feelings between the investment community here with them as far as whether they're going to go vote for it or not for it. So we'll see if that gets through. And what else do we have here? The lawsuit. We'll see what the lawsuit comes out as, whether they're going to have to pay anything on it or if they're going to be actually reimbursed for it. If they get reimbursed for it for not being able to use the facility, for that time, that'll be great. That'll add to their coffers as well. That being said, with the merger, if it goes through, they will have some opportunity to grow that way as well. That will be helpful to them, but we'll see how that plays out. Okay, that's it for Hut 8. They just got to grow. That's my only assessment on that. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one here, which is going to be on Iris Energy. So Iris Energy announces monthly investor update for February. And we got some nice pictures here of their Childress data center internal electrical fit out. So those are all the components going into it. Exhaust fan installations are going in, and I'm surprised they got exhaust fans on the top. Well, that's one way to do it. And then let's see here, where's the information? There it is. So key highlights: average operating hash rate was 1.73 exahash. Bitcoin mined was 156. Corporate update is 67 million of remaining Bitmain prepayments utilized to acquire 4.4 exahash of new S19j Pro miners without additional cash outlay. We already talked about this earlier. They are selling a portion of that. I'm not sure if that's in there or not. And then newly acquired miners will be installed in the company's data centers, increasing self-mining operating capacity from 2 exahash to 5.5 exahash over the coming months. So that's good there. And let's see here. Other than that, it's a lot of recaps here on corporate updates. We talked about that already. Yeah. And then they go into their actual sites themselves, what's going on there. So we already covered that. There's not much going on there. So let's take a look at the numbers I do have for them, and we'll call it a day. It's a lot of stuff going on here. So Iris Energy right now has 54.9 million shares outstanding based on the market cap of 151 million. Stock price is at $2.75. So that's how I'm getting the shares outstanding, is taking the market cap, dividing it by the stock price. Current hash rate is about 1.7 exahash. Future hash rate about 4.5. They said about 5.5. So they do have some growth left in them as well. They are about 38% operational right now, maybe a little less than that, with the additional of 1 exahash being added here. And then the hash rate growth is going to be also higher here. Said the 157, we're probably looking at closer to 200% growth. So that's good there. BTC hodl, they don't hodl anything. They pretty much sell everything that they do mine. And then you can see here, as far as their BTC production goes, going back several months, we can see that their best month was in October, which was 448. In November, they did give back a lot of the miners that were under the special purpose vehicles, they called them, I think. Those were not profitable or cash flow positive, so they returned those to the creditor. And then ever since then, the hash rate has come down here to 151 in November, 123 in December. January was 172, so that was a little bit better than in February, 156. Down not too much from January, also a shorter month. Hash rate has increased, so that's okay there. And then their BTC per exahash efficiency has been coming down as well. January went back up to over 100, and then now February we're back down below 100 to 87.67. And their revenue for the month of February came in at about 3.6 million based on 156 Bitcoins mined. We know that they sold everything, so we don't have to worry about that. And we don't have anything being installed here for the month. Actually, we do. No, let me see here. Yep, we did install a little bit here just to be able to get them to the 3.6 million based on the number of Bitcoins mined on that. So I had to install 790 of these 100 terahash miners to be able to get to the 3.635 million in revenue. Everything was running for 28 days. Then those were only running for about 21.5 days in order for the numbers to work out here this way. Okay, let's see here. So we got that. Institutions did decrease here a little bit to 33 from 39, and then shares also decreased to 11.76 million from 12.28 million. Percentage owned went down as well to 21.39 from 22.33. We did have some changes here in this analyst ratings, so we got 2 strong buy ratings now, 2 buy ratings and 2 hold. Prior to that, we had 2 strong buys, 1 buy, and 4 holds. So it looks like we lost maybe an analyst here someplace along the line, because that was 7. Now we got only 6 ratings, and the price targets came down as well to a high of $8, the average $6.90, and the low of $4. So that actually, the low actually went up to 4. There's the information for that. And let's see how they stack up here right now with the information that we do have. So we do have the last 3 quarters of financial information that's accurate, what they reported, and that's 47.1 million so far. This current quarter, we're looking to be at about 10.8 if things stay where they are right now. Things are going to change, so that's going to also change as well. And then if we're using the 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking with a P of 20 because they do have still pretty good growth left in them. We're looking at $10.54 to potentially $15.81. Based on the analysts, I think the analysts are giving them about a maybe what is it, 10? A 10p? Let's see, what do the analysts say on it? They said $8 to $4. On the high end, $8. So yeah, they're using about a PE of 10. I would think Bitcoin starts going back up, they could easily get 20 on that. So I'm kind of looking at $10.54 to $15.81 for them potentially right now. And they're at $2.75. So yes, they are undervalued, and like majority of the miners are right now as it is. Okay, so with them, Iris Energy, they're doing all the right things. They're getting miners. They're not having to spend any cash on those miners because of credits. So that's good there. They are growing to 5.5 exahash, which is great as well. We'll see if they can grow past that. But right now they are growing, which is good. And hopefully they can keep up at least with the network hash rate increases. So we'll see how things are going to play out. And that's it. Let me know what you guys thought of all this. A lot of information here as always. We keep track of it all so you guys don't have to. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And as always, thank you so much to the Patreons for their continued support. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. Let me know what you guys thought of all this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.